So, hi Trevor, thanks a million for joining me.
No problem, Aisling. Very welcome.
So today Leinster GAA have launched the Beko Club Champion competition, just to highlight the incredible work that many different clubs are doing, and this year especially, I think we've seen GAA clubs go above and beyond. So for you, Trevor, your club Screen, just a stone's throw away from me here in Ratoath, how important was your club for you when you were playing?
Oh God, the club for me was, I suppose I can go back to my granddad was a player with Screen and a mentor and an official and a groundsman. And, when I was 5 and 6, he'd be down cleaning out the dressing rooms and marking the pitch, and I'd tag along with him, doing none of the work at all, but just kicking the ball over the bar or wherever. Spent a lot of my youth down there, and he brought me to loads of matches at underage when I was still too young to be playing, and eventually got going myself and playing, and worked my way up from there. So I'm still living in Screen, and still helping out with the underage there, and probably following my grandfather's footsteps and being official and a groundsman and whatever I can do until my dying days.
Brilliant. And you probably have some fond memories of when you won the All-Ireland and probably arriving back with the cup.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose I was privileged when I was 12. When I was 12, 1987, Meath won the All-Ireland, and we had Colin O'Rourke and Liam Hayes playing for Screen. And of course, the Meath had come back from Croke Park on the Monday, and they'd stop off in Screen, and we'd all be there with our gear on, Meath gear and flags, and cheering them. And I suppose it inspires you a little bit. You don't realise it at the time, but you see that these fellas from Screen are heroes in the county, and you say, well, okay, I'd like to be a hero too. And it drives you on to play with Meath, and then we got to win a couple of All-Irelands and come home and stop off and Screen with the cup, and kind of full circle. So some great memories of that.
And we'll chat as well just about the Dublin Meath rivalry, because we know obviously this weekend, the big Leinster final. So for you, can you think back to maybe some of the battles you had with Dublin, some of those days? What is it like going out against Dublin? It's, I'm sure, very different than any other county when you're a Meath man.
Yeah, and I suppose when I was playing, there was a real rivalry there. We'd grown up with the great games in the 80s and early 90s, and Meath winning maybe their share of their games, Dublin winning a few, but every game was knockout, so it was high stakes. Dublin Meath were maybe two of the top 3 or 4 teams at the time in Ireland, so if you won that game, you had a real chance of winning the All-Ireland, so growing up watching all that, and then getting the chance to play in those games. First game I was 1994. Wouldn't say I was overawed, but just the pace of it. I'd never played in such a fast game. I didn't get any hard tackles or any physical wallops, but just the pace of the game. Paul Curran was marking me that day. He was a super player, and I just didn't get on the ball a whole lot that day. Didn't contribute much. The place was full, whatever, the capacity 60,000 or whatever. That was Brian Stein's first match actually for Dublin when he came back from Australia, and there was a lot of talk with Brian, and he scored the first point of the game. He kicked a good score, and he got absolutely flattened just after he hit it, after he kicked it, and just got up and back out to his position, and I kind of went,
as you do.
that's what Meath and Dublin is about. You get a score, you get whacked, and you just get up.
You get back up again.
That's what you expect. So thankfully after that things improved a bit for me. Well, we lost the next year as well, but then 96 we won, 97 we won, 99 we won. We got a run of wins. We got on top for a little while, but it was over my career. I probably won the same amount of games against Dublin as we lost. So I suppose suppose that's a proper rivalry when you're winning some, you're losing some, and it's swinging over and back. I suppose it's swung a bit too much the Dublin way now in the last few years.
It definitely has. I think they're going for 10 Leinsters in a row, if I'm right. How do the lads now on Saturday go out? And I think it's very important they go out, with no fear, because there's a lot of young lads. Some of them only made their debuts in Croke Park there last weekend. I think it's important they go out with showing no fear.
Yeah, I absolutely think you hit the nail on the head. And I wouldn't expect them to play with any fear. Meath have a chance Saturday night. Like other years they've been in Division 2. Even one year they were Division 3. So they've never had preparation for a Leinster final like this, where they've played Division 1 teams in the league. And the last 2 rounds of the league, very competitive in Parnell Park against Dublin, and scored 19 points and a couple of goal chances, could have scored them. Got a great draw up in Clonus, which is a tough place to go in the league, and scored 117 and could have won the game. So really positive games from Meath. And you go down to Ockram and you score 7 goals, and then you beat Wicklow comfortably, which I suppose a Division 1 team should do to a Division 4 team. And then I suppose you talk about the young lads, they get to make their debut in Croke Park, and it's a step up. They're playing the likes of Kildare, and things didn't go well for them in the first half, but pulled it out in the second half. So
he gives them a chance anyway.
I've seen worse preparation for a Leinster final, and your other years. I think Meath should be going in feeling they can compete with the top teams, and that they can score against the top teams. And there won't be a crowd there Saturday night. I think for the young players that should be a help, to Jordan Morris, Shane Walsh, Ronan Jones midfield. It's kind of his first real season.
Yeah. Matthew Costello is another one just there.
Matthew there has scored goals in the last 2 games. So you'd be hoping those young players would be going out saying, God, I'm delighted to be here playing Leinster final. I'm in good form. The team is in good form. I'm going to have a real good go at this. And then you have the more experienced players, Conor McGill, Seamus Lavin, Donald Keoghan, Brian Menton, Killian O'Sullivan. All those are there at least 5 years, and have tasted defeats. And you'd be kind of hoping to be maybe getting fed up of losing, and that you sometimes get to a point where you say, right, fed up of this, I'm going to have a real good cut at it today,
Yeah.
Like where your defenders slippy ball on a Saturday night in November, competing for everything, Killian up front, has shown good leadership the last couple of games. Low centre gravity, he's the pace, he's the power to trouble anybody, Brian Menton there in the middle of the field, Donald Keoghan, your joint captains. Again,
anything can happen.
Well, a lot of things need to happen, but just not to play with fear, is the thing. You could be marking Con O'Callaghan, Kieran Kilkenny, and as a defender, you might just say, well, I'll just mark him for the day, But like, Meath need those defenders to link the play, come out of defence with the ball. They need Donald Keoghan attacking because he's good at that, he can create goal chances. You just have to be brave enough to say, well, we have the ball, I'm going to support the attack, I'm going to leave my man and have faith that your skills are good enough to retain the ball, work it into a scoring position and get a score. Like we scored 4 points last year in the Leinster final, which was, it was a poor show. But since then, Meath have definitely improved. So as you say, not to play with any fear and have a real go at it. And I'm expecting Meath to be competing really hard with Dublin right to the end, just like they have all year in the league, and a couple of championship matches. They've been finishing games strong. It looks as if Meath's fitness is really, really good, at the moment. So, and I'm not saying that means they're going to win, but I think if they'll
be thereabouts, hopefully.
You have to be a bit like, say, Cork, against Kerry. And Dublin are
Mm-hmm.
probably better than Kerry, but you just have to be thereabouts at the end competing, and you know, who knows, something might break your way.
Yeah, and it is knockout. It's all different this year. You don't know what can happen, you know. So you really just go out and play with no fear. And just speaking on the no fear part, that was always something that you probably would have seen from me teams. When you were playing, under Sean Boylan, there definitely you never seen any fear. Do you have any fond memories of, I don't know, training in Tara or under Sean?
Sure. Listen, yeah, it was a great skill of Sean to get the team to play with no fear, to believe in yourself. You know, didn't realize it at the time, you know, but yeah, he just always encourage you to have a go, you know. You know, he was a great man in training, training on a warm evening, you know, and if fellas were taking a break to have a drink of water, you know, he'd say, come on lads, it's not the Sahara, you know. You know, you're not going to die of thirst, you know. And you know, fellas were probably taking a couple of minutes for a water break, but simple things like that, you know. Or he said, like, okay, I know you're tired or you're thirsty, but just get on with it there, you know. And you'd get on with things, and you'd find a little bit more deep down in you that you could keep going even when you were tired or thirsty or whatever. But no, it's a great thing, and I've seen Sean quoted over the last few years, and he'd be urging me to have a go at it, you know. And you know, if you fail trying to have a go at it, like, no one will ever give out to you for it, you know. But getting back to the knockout, you know, I suppose I'm kind of enjoying the knockout. It was, I suppose, a
brings a
format.
lot of excitement.
I played most of my games in my career, they were all knockout. You know, and you were getting up on a Sunday morning and kind of saying, right, it's
Do or
June
die.
here, the season could be over, you know. Next Tuesday could be back with the club, you know. And it definitely raised the stakes, you know. And I suppose since the back door has come in, and you see a team interviewed after getting knocked out in the province, and people saying, well, we'll take the positives from it, and we'll, you know, work on that for the next round of the qualifiers, you know. And you probably get a bit fatigued listening to that. You're kind of going, like, you know, it's a safety valve, you know. And when I thought of the pressure, you know, I'd feel myself in those knockout games, you know. It's I'm kind of enjoying seeing it now. And you know, we all knew when that goal went in for Cork, deep in injury time, you just knew, right, Kerry gone, you know, just like that. Kerry were gone, no time to reply.
No.
And you know, it's too harsh a format going forward, you know. It's the right format for the year that's in it, you know. And I say I'm enjoying it, yeah.
And another question that I've always wondered, and I never actually found out why, but how come you had the sleeveless jerseys back in the day?
Sleeveless jersey, yeah.
Famous.
Yeah, and I only wore it 3 times, but yeah, everybody does remember it. It was 1999, and I had been asked by the GAA to go out to Australia at Easter as physio to the Ireland under-17s. They played the Australian under-17s at Easter over in Australia. And when you get a phone call inviting you to go to Australia for a couple of weeks, I said, yeah, grand, yeah, we'll do that. And bought a couple of Aussie Rules tops when I was over there, and kind of came back, and I'd be wearing them at training. And it was a good summer, 99. So I remember Ollie Murphy did ask me, or said to me, oh, it'd be class to wear jerseys like that tomorrow, you know, in the Leinster final. And it just set me mind thinking. And you know, you had loads of Meath key pack number 11 jerseys, you know. So I just went home, cut off the sleeves, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go with that tomorrow. Now, that it would be very much against my nature to stand out from the crowd and do something different like that. But it was a year. I had done my cruciate ligament the year before, and I was coming back from that injury in 99, and I had done a huge amount of work to build up the leg strength and get back fit and work on all the things I had missed out on for a few months. And I just had a load of work done that year in preparation, and the confidence was just really, really high with me that I could do something like cutting the sleeves off the jersey and still play well. You know, it wouldn't affect my game. So, but anyway, we won the Leinster final that day, and we went on and won the All Ireland, and I got a rap on the knuckles from the CCCC that if I did it the following year, if the team wasn't attired uniformly, that the referee wouldn't let the game go ahead. So that's
what I wondered. Did you ever get any fines or anything? I thought, I don't know, as a child, I used to think, I think I was told that we got a fine every time or something like this, and you had the
like those days you got fined if you didn't have your socks up for the parade and all sorts of things, and or if someone had slightly different socks or different shorts. So I think it was something like €100 for the first game, and it was double for the All Ireland semi-final, and it was double for the All Ireland final, and
it was all worth
it came to a point there where the referee wouldn't start the game the following year if the team wasn't attired uniform. And that was fair enough, yeah.
And did Sean mind you wearing it at all?
Yeah, I suppose for the All Ireland final, the county board were getting fine money, and they wanted me to go, you know, with the normal proper jersey, and dead right. And Sean, you know, asked me to, you know, toe the line and just and I kind of said I would, and then I kind of thought about it, and I kind of said, well, this is working at the moment, you know, be a little bit superstitious, and you know, I didn't put on my jersey for the All Ireland final till we were running out onto the pitch, so I just kind of had it in my hand and threw it on going out in the tunnel, and I suppose Sean, when he saw me warming up, he knew I'd gone against his wishes, and dead right, he wasn't happy at all. Now we won the game, so he let it pass, you know, but I did feel bad going against Sean Boylan, you know. If Sean Boylan got annoyed with you, you're after doing something wrong or something bad, you know. So, listen, all was forgiven, but I suppose I was a bit stubborn at the time, you know,
Oh, well, at least she's got the win, and it was all worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Big time. And we heard the news as well about another Meath legend, Gertie. He was admitted to hospital, and thankfully we heard good news there in the last week or so. I know his wife Amanda was speaking about it, that he, you know, he's at home and he's recovering. He was a legend of the game, and it's just amazing to hear that he's doing well.
Yeah, you know, not too many things would stop me in my tracks, you know, but to know a fella 2 years older than you that was really, really fit and healthy, you know, had a bleed on the brain, you know. It was major news, and you know, he like to have brain surgery for 7 hours, you know, it's really complicated stuff, you know, and to get home after 2 weeks, I'd say is really, really good progress, you know. And you know, I suppose operation is a success if you come through it, you know. But then obviously the next few weeks you have to get moving your arms, you have to get talking, your memory comes back, your hearing, your balance, you know, all these things, you know, that we take for granted. So so, you know, hopefully all that happens over the next few weeks. I just sent him a text last Friday just to, you know, encourage him, hope you to say I heard you were doing great and keep it up. And he replied straight away that he was doing well, the doctors were happy, he was going to be getting home that day, you know. And when some person replies to your text straight away, you kind of think, oh, they're grand, you know, they're perfect. That's what you do when you're not injured or so it was great to get the quick reply from him, but I'm sure there's loads of things he's working on, that he's trying to get everything back. But like no better man. You know, he's had, you know, injuries. He ruptured his Achilles tendon late in his career with Meath, and came back from that. You know, he's been kind of sent off in games, and there've been controversies, and he just bounces back. He really good from that point of view. Nothing gets him down. He doesn't overthink things. He just gets on with things, and I suppose everything in life so far has worked out for him. Whatever has come his way, he's overcome it. So he's just a person. I expect him to bounce back from everything that comes his way. He's just that kind of a person. So but yeah, we'll keep him in our prayers. Yeah,
exactly. As you said, it did stop everyone in their tracks. Like, not only here in Meath, we seen everybody was talking about it, tweeting about it, but the whole of Ireland, it really did. Everyone got behind him, and we wish him well. So Trev, I don't have much more time, but I'd love to know, if looking back now, what's your favourite GAA memory from everything that you have achieved with Meath?
I suppose, winning my first Leinster final against Dublin in 1996 was the greatest release of pressure ever. Winning the All-Ireland that year was fantastic. It's what you always wanted to do. But in 96, I was 21, and I had been a good underage player with Meath and a good club player with Screen up till then. But we'd lost twice to Dublin in previous Leinster finals, and certainly in the first one I hadn't played well. And at that stage, unless you played well against Dublin in the Leinster final or beat Dublin in the Leinster final, you weren't really rated as a Meath footballer, no matter what you'd done with your club or at underage. So I carried a huge amount of pressure into that game. 96, Dublin were All-Ireland champions. We won by 2 points, 10 points to 8, really low scoring, really wet day. But, just to be able to wake up the next day and say, yeah, I played well, we beat Dublin, it could never be taken away from you. So so that was my greatest, for Meath, greatest memory. And I hope there's a load of Meath fellas waking up Sunday morning
feeling the same.
feeling the same. Yeah.
Well, I think as a child anyway, I've a lot of fond memories of the 90s watching Meath, and I think one that I'll always remember is we used to wait for you to come back into the county club there in Dunshaughlin.
Yeah.
So I remember in 1999 we were all waiting for you, and you was all right back with the cup. So hopefully people will get more memories like that soon.
Yeah, it was a place to be, the county club, all right, in those days, and the players could mingle with family and friends. There always seemed to be room for everyone in it. They always looked after us very well, meals and everything. But you could be in other places around Dublin or whatever, after a game, or the Skyline used to be a place you might go after a game. But once you got to the county club, you're really home, and you're with friends and family, and it was a great place to be.